World Rabies Day, which was established by the Global Alliance for Rabies Control and recognized by the World Health Organization every 28th of September, is a transcendental day to promote the fight against this disease and reinforce awareness about its prevention. We're now being joined by Dr. Muhammed Bala, a veterinary surgeon, to have a quick conversation around the significance of this global commemoration. I want to say thank you very much for joining us today. World Rabies Day 2023. Talk to us. A lot of strides have been made.
Thank you for having me.
In ensuring that this particular disease has been reduced to the barest minimum. But talk to us, what are the gains as we celebrate this day?
Thank you for having me on your news program. There are a lot of gains, and we are just trying to also push our luck in terms of catching up with the rest of the world when it comes to the target of eradicating rabies by the year 2030. It is very apt this year where we have the theme All for One and One Health for All as a team, meaning that we all have to come together, the media, the professionals in the human health sector, the animal health sector, and then in the environmental health sector, where we have to fight this deadly zoonotic disease known to man. So there has been a lot of progress. The progress is that we all realize that you cannot just treat or you can't eradicate rabies by just vaccinating, but you also need other professionals, including the media professionals, in making sure that they communicate appropriately and then hype the awareness.
All right, beyond the awareness, maybe you could give us an insight. What are the underlying causes of rabies and how they can be prevented? How proactive are Nigerian authorities in making this scourge, reduced in the country?
So rabies is a viral disease, and it is been known that 98 to 99% of rabies infection in man is caused by dog bite. This dog bite is not just any dog bite. Rabid dog bite will always transfer or transmit the virus. Mostly dogs are reservoirs. You also have gotten a number of animals, bats, the cats, being the reservoirs of this virus. And once you have a dog bite, the virus can easily be transmitted to human. The very unfortunate thing here is that once there is established infection in man, it is very fatal. It's 100% deadly. And therefore, prevention here is the only tool. And what we do is to look at the chain of the infection between animal and the animals that transmit this, particularly in this case is dogs, to making sure that they are fully vaccinated. The authorities in the last 2 years have been very, very proactive. They have gone ahead to procure vaccines, not only for animals, but also for human pre-exposure vaccination. In other words, we wanted to see how those who are at risk, those who breed dogs, those who keep dogs as companion pets, those who also use dog for sports or like for hunting, must get this protection. But also we are trying to ramp up the vaccination of our animals, basically the dogs, since that is the weakest link for the infection to blossom in the human population. We want to ensure that every dog is vaccinated in the nooks and crannies. It's unfortunately, the effort at the subnational level isn't been too good. But NGOs and non-state actors like the organization I represent is driving some serious campaign down the subnational level where you have majority of these animal reservoirs resides. And we're taking the fight and the free anti-rabies vaccination down to the local councils and all communities where you have dogs on farms and also in the rural communities where you don't even know who owns some of this. It's been owned by the community generally.
All right, Dr. Bala, I would like to find out from you because a lot of people, especially those that might not be animal lovers, are always pushing for responsibility of care from animal owners, so to speak, because of course, making the rounds has been that particular story about President Joe Biden's dog biting Secret Service for the 11th time. And a lot of people say duty of care must be given. That's the first question. Another question that goes out there says that, is it true that even cats, foxes, monkeys, jackals, and even lions bite can actually transmit rabies to human beings?
So let me take the first part of your question. Dogs, responsible pet ownership is one of the agendas in terms of our campaign. You have a lot of people who keep their pets not well trained with the families and their workers. This must not be allowed. There is also these cases of a situation where you just need the dog for security, but you don't want to get them out for for veterinary care, and it's also not unacceptable. Lastly, we'll also have a situation where the dogs, even in the city centers of Lagos, Abuja, you have some communities where the dogs are just there guarding the vehicles and at night, and then in the daytime they run into some hideout. All of that isn't responsible, and that is why the team this year is apt. We have our colleagues from environmental health across the country making a lot of effort in seeing that people adhere to leash laws, which are state laws, and ensuring that the animals are well looked after and not just being left uncared for in terms of their vaccination. But I must also emphasize here that not all dog bites are rabid bite. Some of the bites may be a kind of transfer of aggression because they are actually meant to protect. And then if there is anyone who is suspicious, who the dog suspect have gotten what he's been trained to guard or trying to be a menace to what he's been trained to do, he's gonna go after them, but it could not. That kind of bite will not transfer rabies until you are bitten by a rabid dog. You cannot receive the virus freely. Now, the other part of your question is that if lions and the other animals, yes, once they bite, in fact, that is where the challenges now lies. You have a lot of hunter dogs that stay with people in our communities, go into the bush, and then they interact with these foxes and this wildlife, which are also considered carnivores and felines. Once they get into fight and they are bitten by these reservoirs of the virus, that dog is going to be rabid. And then the dog returns to the community where people stay, and then he keeps spreading it. So this year particularly, we are focused on helping all the hunters with their animals in making sure that they receive adequate vaccination protection from this kind of deadly bites from the wildlife, and then make sure that also the hunters, the handlers of these hunting dogs also are vaccinated with pre-exposure rabies vaccination. So in all, we must understand that responsible pet ownership is the way to go, but we also have to have everyone who wants to keep these dogs for whatever reason, is it for sporting, companionship, to ensure that once every year they get their vaccine, their vaccination boosted against rabies.
Right, responsible ownership, vaccination, they're both key. Dr. Muhammed Abubakar Bala, veterinary surgeon, I would like to thank you for your perspective on World Rabies Day.